Hello YouTube and welcome back to Philippine Dreams. We are continuing our groundbreaking 10-part series on 10 things to keep in mind before making your move to the Philippines. And today we're going to be talking about weather and appropriate clothing. Not surprisingly, and you might have heard or you might have figured this out by now, the Philippines is located in a very tropical climate. It is very hot and it is very humid here. I actually arrived at the end of November of 2013, which was actually the Philippines winter. To me, it was just a continuation of a series of brutally hot and humid summer days. I was stumbling around, trying to stay in the shade, taking multiple bird bath showers every day, changing my clothes constantly. And meanwhile, the expats who had been here for a while and the native Filipinos were walking around in jeans, and actually some were wearing jackets, light jackets. This is my first time, actually my second time in a tropical environment. The first was Honduras. And if you're not acclimated, if you're not used to it, it's going to take some time to get used to it. All of December was simply too hot for me. I didn't use AC that much, and I slowly started to acclimate myself. I'm doing pretty good now. I still get hot, I still sweat at times, but so does everybody else. And we're actually moving into the Philippine summer. This is, right now it's the end of March 2014. And where it used to be 85 degrees Fahrenheit in December and January, now it's crawling up to 92, 93. And when you add the humidity to it, because it's constantly humid here, the real field temperature is probably closer to 100, 105. So that's something that you have to prepare for. Another thing to keep in mind, and I found this interesting, is there's no real weather forecasting in the Philippines. The weather forecasting system can typically tell when typhoons or low pressure areas or storm cells, major storm cells are coming in. But due to the unique nature of this area, each of the 7,000 plus islands basically has its own weather system. During the day, you're going to see condensation building up from the surrounding ocean. It accumulates around the mountains. And during the afternoon, typically the clouds disperse in random directions to rain showers upon the population below. So there's no real way to tell when it's going to rain, when it's not going to rain. And that's why when you look at like online weather apps or weather apps on your phone or whatnot, it basically shows the thunder shower symbol every day, because typically that's what you're dealing with. The good news is it makes everything beautiful and green and lush. I've never seen such a beautiful place in my entire life. It's really amazing. So it's hot, it's humid, it rains a lot, and the sun. I have never experienced the sun like I have here. I guess as you get closer to the equator, the earth kind of bulges out so that it's actually closer to the sun, and it's not that much closer, just a question of miles, but you can really feel it. If you come here pale and pasty like I did, you really have to make sure you get some good sunscreen. You got to make sure you have long sleeve t-shirts, appropriate head covering. Bring along a good collection of bandanas, sheets if you have to. Wrap yourself with a sheet. The Filipinos do, because the sun is really brutal. Clothing. I brought along like 8 pairs of jeans in my Balik Bayan boxes. I got them about a month and a half ago, and I haven't worn them at all. Right now they're just gathering dust and gecko droppings in my closet, and I don't see them actually going anywhere soon. They're just too hot, they don't breathe well, and I don't see myself wearing them. So do yourself a favor, you don't need to bring any jeans. Bring some light cargo pants with pockets, or the convertible type if you're interested in something like that. Also polo shirts and heavy dress shirts. I brought along a bunch of those. I've worn them on a handful of occasions. In January we had a low pressure area which basically brought the temperatures down to about 76, 77 degrees. to the Filipinos and the expats who had been here for a long time, it was brutally cold. They were literally bundled up in jackets. A lot of them were wearing stocking or knit caps. If they had mittens or gloves, they probably would have worn them. Everybody was wearing long pants. I found it quite nice, to tell you the truth, because I still haven't acclimated to the weather here. So a lot of heavy polo shirts, a lot of heavy dress shirts, those are things I personally don't need, and I wouldn't recommend, not for this environment. Cargo shorts. Cargo shorts are going to be your new best friend. Bring a bunch of them. If you have Balik, if you're going to be sending yourself Balik Bayan boxes, get yourself some. And this might be a little bit off topic, but you're going to lose weight when you get here. I've lost about 8 kilos, about close to 18 pounds since I've been here. So get some size smaller than you normally would, because there's no way around it. It's not a question of you eating less. It's just so hot and it's so humid that your body's operating at a higher temperature and you're going to be burning calories. Cargo shorts, make sure they're secured with zippers, make sure they're secured with buttons, make sure they're secured somehow. Velcro I wouldn't recommend, it opens too easily. This isn't so much about pickpockets, because I haven't seen any of that or heard about that from any other expats. Sometimes you do in Thailand and Cambodia. But it's just so stuff won't fall out of your pockets. And also make sure the front part of the cargo pockets, the front pockets, are deep enough, because you're going to spend a lot of time jumping on and off your motorcycle or scooter. It's just the way it is. And you don't want your cell phone, your change, your money, your passport, any of that stuff sliding out onto the ground. So make sure you get cargo shorts, make sure you can secure the pockets on them. T-shirts. I have about 35 t-shirts. Can't have enough t-shirts. I wear them every day. That's basically my ensemble. Cargo shorts, t-shirts, and as we'll talk right now, sandals. T-shirts. T-shirts are very important. I actually got some of those lightweight, high-tech fabric t-shirts from LL Bean and one from North Face, and I don't notice any difference. It's just so humid here that the perspiration is going to accumulate to this weird slimy layer on your skin, and the only way to rectify that is to either say screw it, I'm slimy, I'm gross, or just take those little bird bath showers like I do. So make sure you bring lots of t-shirts, lightweight t-shirts, you're going to be wearing them a lot. Sandals. I was never a sandals guy. There was the whole relation there with Birkenstocks and hippies and all that stuff. So I never wore sandals before. I used to wear flip-flops going to the beach, going to the pool or whatnot, but I wasn't a sandals guy. I took somebody's advice and got myself a pretty nice pair of Teva sandals, and basically I wear them every day. They're lightweight. When it rains, they dry very quickly, they're easy to maintain, and they're going to last a long time. You know, that's get a good name brand sandal to wear. And you don't have to worry about losing weight with your sandals, because your feet are basically going to stay the same size. The only downside of wearing sandals is you're going to get a really strange looking suntan line on your feet, because again, you're going to be scooting around a lot on your motorcycle, and you're just going to get this weird suntan line. Hat and head covering. Make sure you have hats, make sure you got head covering. If you're follically challenged like myself, when you first get here, that brutal sun is going to fry you like an egg. And that's actually what it looks like. It's pretty gross. So make sure you got, I actually have a wide brim jungle cap that I purchased before I came. I wear that on occasion. Most of the time it's bandanas or baseball caps. I got an Under Armour baseball cap that's nice and lightweight that I wear a lot. Also, when I'm on my motorcycle, I have this simple, I think it was like $1. It was 45 pesos or so. It's just basically this hood type baklava, or whatever they call it, that basically leaves just your eyes exposed. And whenever I'm going on trips on my motorcycle, I make sure that I'm wearing that. So sandals. The Filipinos typically wear what they call slippers, what we call flip-flops. They wear them all the time, and they're sure-footed as billy goats in these things. Me and Michelle went to this waterfall, and there was this massive gorge filled with this raging torrent of a stream that you had to cross like 3 times on these slippery rocks. She hopped across it no problem in her little slippers, her little flip-flops, whereas I had on my $100 hiking boots, hiking shoes, and I was slipping and sliding all over the place and almost slipped to an early demise. Also, bring some sneakers, bring a pair of sneakers. You can get sneakers here, they're typically overpriced, and sometimes you're going to find that it's really hard to get your size if you have large feet. So hat and head covering, done. Long sleeve t-shirt. I talked about how hot and humid it is, so this might sound kind of counterintuitive, but keep in mind the sun, that brutal sun that is beating down upon us for about it's really bad about 6 hours out of the day. From about 9 to 3, it's really brutal. So again, when you're going on a long trip on your motorcycle, you want that arm protection. A lot of times the Filipinos, what they wear is this lycra thing that slides over, and it's usually got tattoo patterns on it. They wear the t-shirt and they slide that over their arms. The thing is they won't fit on my arms, they're just too small. So I have a nice loose fitting t-shirt that I wear. I also brought along an underarm workout shirt, and I sometimes wear that on the motorcycle when my regular long sleeve t-shirt is wet or slimy or gross. And it's also good to have that tight shirt, workout shirt, for going snorkeling, because I live in Darwin and the Marine Sanctuary is right next door. It's actually right out there, as is Apple Island. So to protect my back when I'm snorkeling or whatnot, and my arms, because it gets magnified through the water, it's good to have something like that. Sunglasses. Get yourself a pretty, I'm not going to say Oakley's or something super expensive, but make sure you get a quality name brand that has basic ultraviolet protection. You can buy really cheap sunglasses here that say Oakley and Ray-Ban and whatnot, but they're Chinese knockoffs. They cost about $2 US, and I'm not totally convinced that the Chinese are too concerned about the quality control on their ultraviolet protection. So invest in, bring some of those along also. Finally, either when you get here or before you leave, bring them along with you. Get some clear work glasses. It's for using power tools or whatnot. They're just clear acrylic. Try to get some that are scratch resistant. When you're riding your bike at night, your motorcycle, your scooter, you're definitely going to need that. You constantly need some type of eye protection when you're riding your bike here. There's a bunch of stuff flying through the air in the Philippines. They have these massive flying beetles. There's all kinds of bugs. There's road debris kicked up by trucks and jeepneys and hobbles and other motorcycles and series buses flying all over the place. And there's also people burn trash and yard debris here all the time. And what happens is the hot cinders go flying up into the air, they cool off, and then they come flying back down to earth. And some of these cinders can be pretty big. And so at night when you're riding your bike in the evenings or whatnot, when these burns are going on, you're constantly feeling these things hitting you in the face. Road debris is more of a concern. There's actually been a couple of occasions where some serious rocks or something, asphalt, having kicked up and glanced off my eye protection. One of them actually left a real big divot in the eyepiece, and I had just gotten LASIK about 4 or 5 months ago, so that would have probably been pretty bad. So that's basically it. It's hot, it's humid, it's a tropical environment. Make sure you bring and wear clothes accordingly. And if you're in doubt when you get here, just look to see what the Filipinos are doing. I mean, they've been here for a long time. They got most of this stuff figured out. Like when they wear their raincoats backwards on their motorcycles when it's raining. I thought that was the most ludicrous thing. I thought they were just doing it because they thought it was cool. But when you wear it forward with the zipper forward and the rain's hitting it and it leaks through the zipper and you get drenched anyways, you finally go, aha, they know what they're talking about. When in Rome and whatnot. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you want to, you can subscribe. I'm going to constantly be doing updates on this. And you can also check out my blog. It's located in the video description. So take care, have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.